Good morning. Welcome back to White Mountains Day here on White Mountains TV 16. And you know, it's never too early to start thinking about cross-country skiing, especially after last weekend when we had the snow, we started thinking about it. So joining us today is Tom Pizor.
Yes.
See, we started talking about what your last name could have been. From the Eastern, boy, can we start this again? Start again.
It's okay with me.
From Jackson Ski Touring Foundation. And it's all these abbreviations. That's what's throwing me off this morning. Tom, how are you this morning?
I am very fine. I woke up this morning. I come down to North Conway, and the sky is blue, and the Mount Washington standing there, all snow-covered. It gives you a lot of excitement to think about what's coming.
Oh, yeah. Now, Tom, you are the new marketing director up there at Jackson Ski Touring. And but you are not... you are a friend of the Valley. You've been coming up here for 30 years, so you know all about the Valley. You know all about Jackson. So what's going on at Jackson Ski Touring this winter?
Well, a lot of things are going on. One of the new things that's specific to my job as marketing director is to bring in more people to the Valley. We're promoting to major employers, hospital systems, Ys and Boy Scout troops, for example, with special discount offers so they can come up and get a chance to ski cross country or to go snowshoeing. And we're hoping that, you know, by doing this and then repeating it for a couple of years, we'll really build up a lot of awareness that we may not have had. Terrific. And we're also going after audiences where we didn't normally go looking for people, and maybe we can find more there.
Well, that's just terrific. Now, probably one of the biggest things that people are aware of about Jackson cross-country course is, you know, kilometer after kilometer of trails. And unfortunately, after Tropical Storm Irene came over, it took some of those trails a little bit of a hard whack on those trails. But you guys are going to be up and running, ready to go. You've put a lot of stuff in there. Let's talk about some of the things that you did. We don't necessarily have to say how much it costs, which was way too much, unfortunately, for a nonprofit. But you're up and running. We
are up and running, and we reached that point about a week and a half ago. We've got a great trail crew of 4, and they were supplemented many times by volunteers who would come in and, you know, take some of the boards and timbers we were using and rip out the old nails and get things ready. We also, part of the reason why it was so expensive, we had to bring heavy equipment into the Ellis River Trail and, you know, rent that equipment at, you know, usual rates, and bring in steel girders and concrete abutments for them to sit on. In many places, the Ellis River, it just jumped its bank with the force of Irene, and as much as 2 feet wider than it was naturally. And so then we had to use steel beams to rebuild the bridge. The Forest Service has rules about how these things are done, and we had to follow each of their regulations. So it took most of the summer and a lot of back-breaking work and heavy equipment to get this done. And just yesterday we went on a volunteer trail crew down over where we had rebuilt the bridge and where we had rebuilt the trail. So just north of the warming huts, for people who know the trail. There was a washout a year ago from apparently an earthquake, and that has just continued to erode the side, and so there was no way to save that. So that created the going higher through a switchback across and then switchbacking down.
Cool.
So I think it's going to be really good. Tom Perkins, of course, executive director, says it's going to be a really exciting addition to the trail for people who, you know, people want to see it, and they should find that a lot of fun. I think for the occasional day skier, they'll get to right where that point breaks off, because that's the warming hut, and they're going to turn right back around and come in, and they still get a good easy and moderate trail. So I think everybody's going to win. It actually has upgraded the trail through a lot of work.
Well, there we go. I mean, I think that's probably the key thing right there, is that despite the problems with the tropical storm, everything's a little bit better. And so that's kind of the bonus of it. I mean, you don't want these things to happen, but when you can improve what was already great, that's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, and I don't know technical speak to say, so don't hold me to it. But I would bet where we put in the steel beams and rebuilt that bridge, you know, it's probably going to meet the next 100 years of tropical storms heading our way.
And hopefully we won't get too many of them in the next 100 years. But
and it wasn't just one. There were 10 other bridges that had to be replaced, and a number of washouts all across different parts of trails. So it was a lot of work to to Lori, Mike, and Andy, and the volunteers, and
Right.
we're grateful.
And now, of course, that leads right into the fact that we're getting right into ski season. I mean, we had some snow on the ground last weekend. Just incredible, the fact that we had so much snow on the ground. So people are starting to think about it, starting to get geared up for cross-country skiing. And you've got your season passes on sale.
It's right. Season passes start right now, and I've been on sale and will be on sale until November 30th. And that's a pretty good savings, and there's a double savings to it. This year, when you buy your season pass before November 30th, you save more than $20 in your pocket. Plus, for an additional $5, you can visit Great Glen or you can visit Bretton Woods and ski for free there. And the purpose of that is early in the season, one place gets snow, lasting snow, sooner than others.
Exactly.
And even later in the season, you get to visit a different place with different terrain. So people do like to explore. The $5 bonus covers them through the end of the year.
Yeah, and that's just terrific. What a neat way to do that. And like you say, to be able to see, and hopefully, if you're itching to get out, perhaps Jackson doesn't have everything at the beginning, but of course they're going to get it later, as they always do. I mean, we're looking at some great footage there, and you just look at the conditions of the trails. You look at how well they're groomed, and that's one of the things, of course, that you guys are known for is your terrific grooming.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've got two big piston bully groomers, which are state-of-the-art, and the guys start as early as 3 in the morning to groom every bit of trail that they can. So it really makes it fantastic. It allows people to go places they couldn't go on their own. If it was ungroomed, you're doing a lot of pushing through snow.
Absolutely, yeah. And I know I'm not up for that. So, and then also one of the things, it's Jackson, cross country, but of course you've got snowshoe trails.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people are getting into snowshoeing. I mean, it's one of those sports that keeps growing and growing. And what a great place to go. You've got these organized trails. So again, you're not breaking through the woods, but you're still outside.
That's right. For people who haven't snowshoed, there's a certain part of your thigh that you feel the next day. When you snowshoe where there's been some grooming, it's so much easier.
Right.
And you get to go. And with those 25-kilometer of trail, it takes you places. That's more than anybody needs to do in a day. But snowshoeing is so wonderful, and it's why I like it. Is you can break off and just go into the woods at any point. Something you can't do with skis because of tree underbrush and it just not
those pesky trees.
Yeah, and sometimes the grade.
Well, absolutely. And then, I'm sure that a lot of people know about this because we talk about it on White Mountains Today. We talk about the Tuesday Trekkers and the Friday Gliders, which is a couple programs you have, and also the snowshoe treks on Saturday or Sundays with Peter Minich. And so just a lot of great things going on at Jackson Cross Country. Now, while we're talking topical, next weekend's your ski sale.
Absolutely. It is what we think of as our kickoff to the season altogether. And all this week coming up, Monday through Friday, all day long, people can bring their good used skis, poles, jackets, boots, anything related to cross-country skis and snowshoeing. Bring it in. We charge $1 admission per piece of equipment. We label it, sort it out, have it ready for Saturday morning when the doors fly open at 10 o'clock. So it's 10 to 2, Jackson Ski Touring for the sale, 153 Main Street. What we do is we sell the item at the price the owner brought it in for, whatever they think it's worth. And then it sells, and then we keep 15% as fundraiser, and that goes to our youth programs, which are many.
That sounds fair.
Yeah.
That sounds fair. And now one of the other things that I think is important for people to know, I have not been cross-country skiing in a few years. And, one of the things that I, of course, worry about is going out and falling down and hurting myself because, that's probably what I would do. So I could take a lesson. And you have great lessons. And I've heard so much about the lessons that everybody does or that they get from Jackson Cross Country.
Yeah, I just have to differentiate the kind of lessons you get at Jackson from other places or being taught by a friend, which is how I was taught, and I managed to do okay. It's like a golf lesson. You take a golf lesson, suddenly you fix something you weren't doing quite right, and the game becomes so much more fun.
Right.
Well, same thing with cross country. You get somebody to show you how to do it better to improve your kick and your work on hills and things like that. Our instructors are all FIS certified. That means high-end international cross-country
better than
touring.
me.
Yes, yes. And I can't define FIS because it's in French, but but it's very, very important that our trainers, our lesson givers are really terrific that way. We work lessons two different ways. There's group lessons. You can walk in and you can buy into a group lesson really any time of day. Just come on up. And if you want a private lesson, call ahead and we'll make sure an instructor can set aside time to work with you. And that's like dealing with the golf pro who sits and spends time specifically on your swing. Here it's more going to be your kick, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's terrific. So a lot of things going on. And I was on the website earlier. It's a great website, jacksonxc.com. Yep. And you get all the information you need. And really go up anytime, check out what's going on, I imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're on Facebook, and we post the conditions forecast on Facebook and on our website.
Well, lots
you
of
can
cool
phone
pictures.
up. A lot of good, cool pictures, definitely. And the thing I will say about the calling up for conditions, it can be cold, but no snow in Jackson at the base. And that means nothing about the rest of our trails. We're dealing with 66 trails, 154 kilometers of trail, and over 90 miles. So trust me, there will be snow on the trails most of the winter.
Yeah.
And the question is where you might want to start from. If it's drier in the valley, you're going to want to drive up, and we'll get you started at another trail point.
Well, true. Well, Tom, thanks so much for coming down, letting us know what's going on up there in Jackson. And of course, there's the Facebook page right there with some of the new trails and some of the bridges that they've been working on. And see some other shots.
That is Tom Perkins last Sunday. He went out on the snow.
Why am I not surprised?
Not surprised at all. Said it was terrific. We just don't know how far he actually got.
Well, we know we got at least a foot there. So
yes.
that's all.
Yes.
So, Tom, thanks again. And
Rob,
I'm sure we'll see you during the winter. And we'll be back here in a minute on